I feel lost. After the Stanley Parable, I just don't know what to do. I mean, I got this book, but it's just not enough. I need a new guide. I need the beginner's guide. And that's what we're going to be playing today. So, the beginner's guide is a game made by the same people that made the Stanley Parable, or so I've been told. I could be wrong about that. I don't know. I think that is. I bought them as like a package together on Steam, so I guess it would make sense if they were made. Anyway, it doesn't matter. This game, I've been told, is a more straightforward experience, like the Stanley Parables, like branching paths, all that kind of stuff. This one seems to be more of like an experience of a game. So, I know nothing about it, literally nothing at all. Let's go into it. Begin the game. Got audio on for sure. Alright. Simple enough controls.
Hi there. Thank you very much for playing the Beginner's Guide.
No problem.
My name is Davey Reedon. I wrote the Stanley Parable.
Oh, okay.
And while that game tells a pretty absurd story, today I'm going to tell you about a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011.
Okay. 3 years.
We're going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named Coda.
Okay.
Now, these games mean a lot to me. I met Coda in early 2009 at a time when I was really struggling with some personal stuff.
Okay.
And his work pointed me in a very powerful direction. I found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of creative works that I wanted to make. So just to start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever made. It's a level for Counter-Strike. You can walk around here, by the way.
Okay.
And mostly it's just
Cool.
Coda learning the basics of building a 3D environment. But what I like
Looks pretty
is
good.
that even though he starts from the simple aesthetic of a desert town, he then scatters these colorful abstract blobs and impossible floating crates around the level. And of course, it destroys the illusion that this actually is a desert town, and instead this level becomes a kind of calling card from its creator. It's like a reminder that this video game was constructed by a real person. And it kind of makes you wonder,
Why is this
what
black?
was going through his head as he was building this? This is what I like about all of Coda's
it's
games.
just, there's a
I mean, not that they're
orange
all
block there.
fascinating as games, but that they are all going to give us access to their creator. I want us to see past the games themselves. I want to get to know who this human being really is. And that's exactly what we're going to do here.
All right.
So, it's 2008, Coda starts making these games, and he never releases any of them. He doesn't
None
put
of
them
them.
onto the internet, he just makes them and then immediately abandons them, and they sit on his computer forever.
Well, then how'd you get on?
And I think he really understood this image of himself as a recluse. At one point, he jokingly renamed his computer's recycling bin to Important Games Folder. So, you
I
know,
feel
this was
that.
just how he worked. He tended to crank them out one after the other without even really pausing to try to understand what he had just made, until suddenly one day, he just stopped.
Stop making games.
In 2011, that was it. He made his last game, and then he hasn't made another one since. And that's why I've taken this opportunity to gather all of his work together, is because I find his games powerful and interesting, and I'd like this collection to reach him, to maybe encourage him to start creating again.
That'd be awesome.
And if the people like you who play this also happen to find his work interesting, then I'm sure it'll just send that much stronger of a message of encouragement to Coda.
Yeah, I mean.
So
this is
thanks for
pretty-
joining me
is
on
pretty-
this. If you have a particular interpretation that I haven't mentioned here, or if you just need to get in touch, you can email me at daveywreden@gmail.com. Okay, that's about it for introduction. Let's take a look at Coda's first proper game.
Can I pause? Okay. I'm not gonna talk very much because I guess he's talking for a good bit of it, so I'll just like add a couple things here and there. It seems that this is like Stanley Parable was a little difficult because it was like all narration, so I felt like I almost couldn't get a word in. Seems like this one is gonna be the same, so I'm gonna just add a couple things here and there when I need to, because he seems to be just going full steam ahead. Maybe I'll pause it after each level, because he said that there's going to be levels from this. So there's a game designer, and he doesn't make games anymore. He's a friend of the guy that made Stanley Parable. Doesn't make games anymore. Maybe something bad happened to him. I don't know. But what my thoughts on that level? I play Pavlov, which is like a VR CS:GO game, and you can also play like it's like Gary's Mod, but in VR kind of a little bit. And a lot of the textures and the way that maps look is really similar to the way that that game looks. So that's the first thing I thought of. So, I mean, first game, that's pretty good. Way better than the first game I ever made. And if you know, you know.
As each game is loading, I'll show you the date that it was completed. This first one was made in November.
Okay, hold on. I don't know why I said that, because I was trying to think as I said that, what is the first game I ever made? And I don't even remember. So, anyway.
December 2008.
2008, December. All right. This reminds me of like what's it called? Portal. This reminds me of Portal. Oh, okay. We got a gun. Okay, I guess I gotta get out. Okay, so he's not.
This game is called Escape from Whisper, and it's one of the more generic games you'll see from Coda.
Let's get a gun. There's no enemies, but we have a gun.
Security call breached. Hostile alien life forms inbound.
Okay, so there's gonna be bad guys.
It kinda looks like this game was abandoned mid-development. For instance, you have this gun, which you'd think would indicate that there are supposed to be monsters or enemies
And
somewhere,
I can't shoot the
but
gun
then
anymore.
clearly there are no enemies anywhere.
I guess it doesn't reload.
You can't even reload the gun when you run out of bullets.
There we go.
But ultimately, we don't really know. Maybe Coda thought that actually it was complete the way that it is. And I think that we should talk about his games for what they are, rather than for what they're not.
Enemy force neutralized. Begin ship evacuation.
I guess. Okay, we're going through here.
I love how you can see the bottom of the universe from this room.
I will say, it adds suspense, like you run out of bullets, and then there's no monsters coming, I guess, a little bit. It does feel broken, though. Okay. Going through here. Now, this reminds me of, like, Halo. Whenever I played Halo Combat Evolved, like, the narrow rooms are all really gray. So it's just like a maze.
Apparently, this space station has a labyrinth on it. Sure, I don't know. There's really no reason for it that I've ever been able to discern, so in the interest of time, I'm just gonna skip you on past it.
No, I wanna... Okay. I guess we're not doing it.
Okay, this is the part that's interesting.
Okay, gotcha.
The game has this narrative about the Whisper machine and how it has to be turned off, and then you get to the engine room.
Okay. I'm in the engine room.
Hey, you there, in the engine room.
That's me.
You could save us all. That beam is powering the Whisper machine. We could disrupt it by introducing a great enough heat signature.
Okay.
If your body could stop the beam.
I have to kill myself?
It's so much to ask, but for all of our lives, would you do it? Could you give yourself?
Well, there's not a second option, so I guess I gotta do it. So it's a flat texture that follows your field of vision, is what it seems like, because it looks the exact same no matter where you rotate. Anyway. I guess we're dead.
Let me pause here for a second. What you just experienced, stepping into the beam and then dying, is probably what Coda had initially intended when he was developing this level. But when he first compiles and plays it, something goes wrong. There's a bug somewhere.
Oh.
And this is what happens instead.
Okay, so we're playing the real version. Oh, we're going up. I can't move. Hey, I like this better. This seems...
The beam causes you to start floating. And this is an important moment for him. Because yes, this is technically a glitch,
Yeah.
but Coda identifies something human about it. Like how small it makes you feel in the face of this larger chaotic system.
I
Or
like
this
it.
floating could be the afterlife, a peaceful place, juxtaposed against all of the hysteria that you've just had to traverse. I don't even know. I have no idea what he was thinking, but what's clear is that after making this,
hold on.
something...
I'm sorry, I'm gonna pause it for 1 second. I was looking at the labyrinth, and if he had given me a little more time, I actually was on the correct path to escape the labyrinth. I think I'm just gonna... He's gonna talk over me, but I'm just gonna point with my mouse where I think I went, and I think I was just about to get out.
Lodges itself
Oh,
in
I
his
can't.
brain.
I don't have a mouth.
He wants to do
Mouse.
more of these
But
really
I think I was about to
weird
get out.
and experimental designs. So he stops work on this and moves on to a stream of tiny little games that go in all sorts of directions. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first game he made after leaving this one behind.
Okay. The past was behind her.
Yep. In this game,
you can only move
walk
backwards.
backwards.
You can only move backwards. I like that. That's a cool concept. Okay. So you have to like look around and then move backwards. But
So
the
it's a short
future
and
could not be
relatively
seen.
minimalist experiment combining motion and narrative. It is less advanced than the previous
Why
game, but
does the
actually it
future
seems to be
keep
more
changing?
focused, more complete. Coda is trying to give it a unique voice rather than simply basing it on a
When
pre-existing
she
trope.
stops and looks, it becomes clearer. I like. It's like every time you look away, it changes. Because I think there was a path over there. Let me see. Okay, so I gotta go. Maybe I'm just crazy. I don't know. So I go up the stairs. But if the future's always behind her, how will she find the strength to confront it?
It's a short little thought, it says what it wants to say, and then it ends. Didn't need anything more than that. Which to me is why it works, because it gets out quick. Okay, next one.
I think that I like that game. I think it would have worked better. I think the atmosphere was a little bit off. It felt a little clunky. It would have been cool if like you couldn't move forward, but you could move backwards and diagonally. Like whenever I was like, you use W, A, S, and D, and you move around with your mouse. So I wish you could use A, S, and D, but not W. So like you could give yourself, because if I don't know, I'm gonna stop talking. He was the one that made the game. I'm not gonna hate on him. Now this looks like Slenderman or something. You are now entered. Ooh. In other games, when you press forward and you let go, it immediately stops you. But this one has like it slows you down before it stops. I wonder if he's using Unity or what kind of system he's using.
And that's it.
That's the whole game.
Okay, the
You are now
meaning of this
entering.
game won't be clear just yet. Please be patient with me for a few more games, and I promise you'll see what makes it interesting.
All right. Yes, sir.
Oftentimes, Coda would put bizarre titles like this one at the start of his games.
Nonsense in every direction. This
I wish I'd known him at the time that he was making these early games. He would really only talk to me about his work as he was making it. Once he stopped work on a game, that was it. It was dead to him. And I don't agree with that at all, but what are you gonna do?
Can I walk off the map? No, I can't.
I know it's tempting, but there's actually nothing over here.
Okay.
Sorry.
Alright, gotcha. This game reminds me of... There's a spinner game where... I wish I knew the name of it, but it's like... You know, like these shapes where there's like no possible way that they should be able to work, but it looks cool. There's a game like that. I don't remember the name of it, but Monument Valley, I should have known. Okay, this game reminds me of the way Monument Valley feels a little bit. I don't know. Just the aesthetic, it reminded me of like the way everything is all cuboidal and... Am I getting slower? I think I'm getting slower.
Once you've been slowed to an absolute crawl, the door at the top of the stairs opens. So why, if Coda's not showing these games to anyone, why bother opening the door at all? Well, to show you, I'm modifying the game here so that when you press enter, it'll bring you back up to full speed so you can enter the door for yourself.
But I'm still moving. I'm just gonna keep going. I think... Yeah, it's not slowing me down anymore. I'm at a consistent speed. I think in maybe like 2 or 3 minutes I'll make it up there. So I guess you could skip this part if you want, but I'll talk while it's going. What do I think of this game so far? It's a beginner's guide. What is it a beginner's guide to? Maybe making games? Maybe dealing with struggle? Because the way that he's talking, it makes me seem like something bad happened to the person that made these games. So, a beginner's guide to, like, losing someone, or... Well, let's just talk. A beginner's guide to games. I have never made a 3D game before. That would be really cool. I haven't done it yet. I've only made 2D games. But these concepts seem like he was watching some kind of tutorial, or like he was looking at something, and he has just a basic understanding of how things work, and then he makes something big out of it. Does that make sense? Like slowing someone down, making blocks, making a skybox, making voiceover. Those are all like kind of basic things, but then he like puts them together into a coherent idea. And yeah, I think that's a good lesson. Like a lot of early games are like that, because if you think about like the original Super Mario is just you're jumping and there's enemies and you're just going back. You can only go right. You're jumping, you get killed, you have to get sent back to the beginning. It's a really basic idea, but there's a lot of heart in it, and that's what makes it work. I don't know if that exactly makes sense, but it's like the tools that are used to make the game don't define how good the game is. It's like how the heart and how much you care about it. But then again, he says that he doesn't spend that much time on these games and he just throws them away, so I don't know. But whatever the case may be, we are almost at the top of the staircase, so I guess I'm gonna enter through the door. Okay, flattened us out. What's in the door? What's in the door? What's in the door? Some kind of coffin? Kind of looks like soap. Still moving really slowly. Any day now. I'm in the door. It's like moving just fast enough that I don't feel tempted to press the enter button, but still slow enough to make me annoyed. Oh. I clicked my mouse. I don't know if that... Whoa, what the heck is going on? I clicked my mouse and it like made me fast again.
A room that's warm.
Maybe it was just a coincidence.
Nice and filled with little ideas for games.
Alright, press U to surrender. Play as the
Coda
camera...
would often tell me that he didn't mind if people thought of him as cold or distant. He said that he knew that he was actually a vibrant and compassionate person, but that it takes time to really see that. It can be a very slow climb to get there.
Okay, something that's annoying me a little bit is that I want the experience of like reading his ideas and talking about it, but he didn't allow me the time to do that. Seems like the games, all decent ideas, seem like they were all like a little bit depressing ideas, like the one about a queen who's dusting their jewelry, while their town is being destroyed around them, or press you to surrender, or everything is awful and the button that you're trying to save everything with doesn't work. All like kind of depressing ideas. So that's just something to think about, I guess. Okay, we are in a room that's texture is not super amazing. It's not lined up super awesome. This reminds me of like Halo. I wonder if he's drawing his own textures or if he's getting like default textures.
Well, this is new for Coda. It's an actual puzzle. Go ahead and see if you can solve it.
Alright. Seemed like the obvious thing would be to pull the lever. Does that even constitute as a puzzle?
Don't forget that solution, because we're going to see this puzzle again soon. We're gonna see it a lot.
Okay, so the puzzle was you need to close the door as it's being closed behind you, and then there'd be a lever on the inside of the door? Okay. 3 dots. Cool. Can I jump? Oh, I can jump. He said, okay, he lied. He said that the only controls were W, A, S, and D, but I can jump. You liar.
So that seems to be it, right? You walk down a corridor,
Maybe
solve
there's
the
like
puzzle,
a
and get to the end. Simple
invisible
enough.
wall.
All right,
Walk to the wall.
now I'm going to modify the game again so that when you press enter, it'll remove all of the walls from this room.
I'll solve it myself. Now I'll press enter. Whoa! Okay.
How about that? There was more to it than we had any way of knowing. I actually find it funny that this game comes after the Stairs game, since they essentially convey the opposite idea. So, in the Stairs game, a dull exterior concealed a rich interior. And then, in this level, a dull interior hides this fantastic outer world. Either way,
reminds me
I
of
think
the
that
Caves
the
and
point
Cliffs
is the
update,
same,
whenever
is that
you
most of the
go in
time
there.
you don't get to know what you're missing, or even
Spectator
that
mode.
you're missing anything. That's not your role as a player. So if your role here is not to understand, then what is it?
Okay, cool game. Again, like that's really cool. If I'm playing that game, well, I guess it's for him. He knows that there's stuff on the outside, but he's never gonna show it. It's like if you publish that game, people would probably be like, okay, so they would never know that there's stuff on the outside. Only he would know that there's like a rich. I guess that's something. It's cool. Okay, we're back to this place again. I'm assuming maybe something's gonna be a little bit different. You are now exiting.
Aha! So, this, combined with the entering game from earlier, tells us that Coda believes his games are connected somehow. It could even be that the Stairs game and the puzzle game are literally connected in between this and the entering game.
Okay.
There's a bigger picture that all of his games are meant to play a role in, some larger meaning that we won't be able to grasp until we've seen all of them. And once we have, we can step back and start to understand what exactly that bigger picture is.
Okay. That reminded me of the Giraffe Town. I don't know why. Again, this is like the idea of. I wish I knew more. Like, did the person that made this game, did he put this ambiance?
Let's talk about video game development for a second.
Okay.
Every video game runs on what's called an engine,
Yep.
which determines what the game can and cannot do.
Okay.
So in other words, the engine is a set of tools for game development.
They're frustrating.
To make all of these games, Coda is using an engine called Source.
Okay.
Like all engines, Source has certain things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does poorly. One of the things that it does very well is boxy linear corridors. That's why so many of Coda's games are set in these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because he's working with what the engine does well.
I can't. Oh, I can.
The tools available to the creator shape what kinds of creative work they're going to end up making. You might consider paying attention to the architecture in Coda's games, to notice how they seem to stem from an engine that's very good at producing linear, boxy corridors.
I'm trying to get on the roof by, like, shifting. It's not really working. Okay. The Streetwise Fool. So what is he a fool about? There's a door. Hexagons. I guess not all of his tables have umbrellas underneath them. I would assume this is a restaurant and he doesn't seem to have a place to serve food. There's no kitchen. There's a handicap. Oh, I can open that. I'll go here first, I guess. Oh, I closed the door behind me. Can I also, yep, you can shift apparently. I'll get on top of this. Can I go to the bathroom? Guess not. Okay. Can I, yep, okay. All right, let's see what's down here. Ooh, interesting, parkour. The Streetwise Fool has parkour. I guess we'll go for it. Kind of tempted to see what happens if I jump down there. Go down here. I've never really played a 3D parkour game besides like Run or Minecraft, so this is kind of cool. I like the way that this looks. This looks, the aesthetic of this game, like this part in particular, I really enjoy this. Okay. Alright, let's try to do something I'm not supposed to do. Maybe go over here, skip a little part. Okay, so it doesn't matter if you do a little bit of skipping. Oh, I'm not gonna make that, am I? Oh, I just died, right? Oh, okay. I just fell all the way down. Maybe this was like a testing area for like figuring out how jumping and stuff works. I could see that. This reminds me of a storage system I made in a Minecraft server one time with some people. The stairway down. So I cannot get in here. Or I bought this game called Star Wars The Fallen Order, and I only played like the first level or so because it was kind of boring to me. This room reminds me of that, the first like level or so. I think I played like 2 or 3 levels, maybe. Just like cattle. Cattle are supposed to be corralled in here. Cool, funky music. Cool, funky music. I like that. That was cool. Close behind me. Oh. Okay. This is cool. I like this game where it's like it subverts your expectations. So like it wants me to go in the cell. Oh, I cannot even. Oh, so I have to go in the cell.
This prison, funny enough, in Coda's original design, the doors stayed shut for a full hour before letting you go. If you don't mind, I think we're gonna skip that.
Okay, sure. What happens if I press enter? Nothing? Okay. Oh, I'm
This is
going
something
down.
that he and I used to argue about a lot. You know, whether a game ought to actually be playable, whether it means anything if no one can get through it. And I would always defend that, you know, all this work goes into the game, why not make it playable and accessible? And so we just got into heated arguments over it, and there was one time that after one of these conversations, he went home, and a day or two later, he sent me a zip file entitled Playable Games that was full of hundreds of individual games, each of which was just an empty box that you walked around in and nothing else. Believe me, I played every single one of those just to find out if there was like a gag hidden somewhere. There wasn't.
I think this is like maybe Coda thinks that they have like two different perspectives. One is like games are used to make art, and games are supposed to make entertainment. I think that's like maybe a divide that they're having. I think games should be able to do both, but like simultaneously, but it does not seem like they agree on that. I wonder if he just copy and pasted the game of the box, or if he really actually did spend. Well, he said he did it in a day. So it's like an impossible room or something. This is cool. Cool aesthetic.
It's the puzzle again.
Hey, it's
with the
puzzle.
exact same solution as the last time.
There's some dust. Using some source particle effects.
There's still no clear indication of what makes this puzzle so special that Coda is going to return to it over and over. But I promise I'll share with you my interpretation very shortly.
Okay. I'm starting to wonder if Coda really wanted people to play his games or not. Because if there's some form of story in it, like, then that would imply that he wants people to hear the story or experience it. But I don't know. Ooh, this is cool. Hey, sorry to pause the video for 1 second, but you see at the bottom left how there's my my face down there with the face cam? Well, turns out starting now, there's going to be some dialogue that appears right there sometimes. Right where my face is covering it up. Isn't that just so awesome? Now, luckily, I'm a great guy, and I say everything that appears right there, so you're not going to miss anything. But if you're wondering, like, man, why is he saying stuff and it's really hard for me to see what it is? That's the reason. I'm just an idiot. Carry on with the video. Hopefully, everything will be alright. Listen. You there, did you come from up above?
Here, Coda
What was
begins
there?
using a kind of dialogue system that he fashioned out
Yes,
of the
there is a
engine's
world
chat
stamped with-
capabilities. Use the 1, 2, 3 buttons on your keyboard to respond.
Okay, so where did I come from? There's a world stamped with whiteness. There was an enormous prison I spent hours in. There were these floating colors. I think the thing that was coolest was the blocks, so I'll say that. Yes, there were these floating colored blocks. That's the world above. You've been there. Now this is important. Did you have to get through a puzzle with 2 doors and switches? Yes, I did. That was literally the last thing I did before coming here. No, I don't remember having to go through any puzzle. I'd prefer not to tell you after all we've just met. I mean, there's no reason to be mean to them. I'll tell them what happened. Again, perfect. Now please tell us how you solved it. Tell us the solution. Tell us how to get to the other side. I don't remember. I didn't solve it. Someone else let me in. Trust me, you don't want to go over there. None of those are true. To me. I guess I'll do 2. Because I don't want to lie to them and say, I don't remember how I solved it. And I think that they want to go over there, so I'll just say 2. Someone let me in. Coda let me in. You didn't solve it, so you have learned nothing. You cannot help us escape this prison. You are not the one I need. Surely there will be someone else. Okay. Guess I'm going this way. Hey, I'm back. Hello, how did you get here? Was there a puzzle you had to pass through? Yes, do you want to know how to solve it? No, I've been right here this entire time. No, I've been here this entire time. I suggest you go and see the puzzle sometime. It's not meant to be solved, but you can sit in the black space in the middle. Now I'm confused. It says it's not meant to be solved, so I won't ask him what happens if I solve it. I'm curious who they are. I'll say, who are you? Just go hang out there in that blackness for a bit. You may not like it at first, but it'll glow on you eventually. This reminds me of Batman, Arkham, probably City, where like the Joker had these like TVs on his head, like fake mannequins of himself with TVs on his head, or the Riddler. This reminds me of like Riddler's puzzles. What are on those books? Nothing, I guess. All right.
And so we make one last descent down to the final floor of the level.
All right. There's some kind of lamppost. Ooh, this looks nice. I think Coda's getting better at making games.
It's a lamppost.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I can't tell you quite why, but for some reason, Coda fixates on this lamppost. It's going to appear at the end of every single one of his games from here on out. I'll tell you what I think. I think that up to this point, you know, he's been making really strange and abstract games with no clear purpose, and maybe you can only float around in that headspace for so long. Because now he wants something to hold on to. He wants a reference point. He wants the work to be leading to something.
Okay.
He wants a destination, which is what
lamppost.
this lamppost is. It's a destination. We're going to see it in the work as well. His games are just going to become a lot more cohesive, a lot more fully developed, with more of a clear idea behind them. And as we go, that idea will get clearer and clearer and clearer.
Maybe it's because the person that made the Stanley Parable, maybe because he was in his life now, like he's helping him, he's like giving him ideas. This game is connected to the internet. As you walk around, you can leave notes. All notes you see are left by other players. Nice room, not. Can I leave a note? This reminds me of I keep on saying that. This reminds
So
me
first
of.
off, I'm sure you can deduce this, but this game is not
Mario-
connected to the internet.
Super
All of
Mario
the notes that you're going to see have
Super-
been written by...
I just want to say this. Mario Maker 2, that's what I'm trying to say. This reminds me of Mario Maker 2, how you can like leave notes in the level.
Coda. This was actually the first game of his that I ever played. This was shortly after I met him at a weekend game jam in Sacramento, where I grew up.
Game jams.
I saw him working on this very level, and it was
Wow.
just so different from anything that anyone else was doing. So right away I was like, I have to be friends with this person. In retrospect, I think I was probably a bit too pushy trying to get his attention. I was over-enthusiastic. But he was very gracious about it and very patient with me. And I cooled off eventually. Oh, feel free to skip over any of these notes if they're not doing anything for you. Nothing extra is going to happen if you read all of them. Either way, to me they convey a sense of loneliness. I see this
Okay. He's talking a lot.
person who's filled with thoughts and feelings and beliefs and has no way to express them except as scattered and unheard voices in a game that wasn't meant to be played.
Seems like
But it's ironic, isn't it? That in playing this game and seeing how alone Coda often felt, that we get to know him better and actually kind of connect with him. And I have to be honest with you, this idea is really seductive to me. That I could just play someone's game and see the voices in their head and get to know them better and have to do less of the messy in-person socializing. I could just get to know you through your work. I think this is why I always liked Coda's games so much, is because it felt like they let me have that connection. I felt as though he was inviting me personally into his world. And then I feel less lonely too.
I'm the king of the world. Yeah, I think there's like 2 types of notes here. One are like, or 3 types. There's notes that are like random, that say like bird or grass. There's notes that are like trolling, like, oh, this stinks, why am I here, blah blah blah. And then there's like philosophical notes. What's the next note gonna be like? Yeah, so that's like a trolling one. That's another trolling one. Sure, you guaranteed that there's an acorn somewhere here in this place, and the sailors. So it's like a philosophical one, maybe. Hey guys, just looking for someone to talk with. So that's maybe a normal. So maybe 4 categories, a little more of a normal one. Philosophical. That's more of a random one. Trolling one. Trolling. There's nothing here, go back. Don't listen to that guy. I don't want to go over here. I think that's like an end. I don't want to end. I want to jump off. And I want to land on the place down there. Oh, I can't. It won't let me. Oh, there's a boundary. Okay. I guess I have to keep going. It's weird how he said don't read, like you don't have to read all the notes, but like if this game is about understanding Coda and understanding their relationship, why wouldn't I? Door how open, open sesame, open salami. Makes game, includes door, cannot open door, thanks. Was this here before? Alright. Someday I will meet the person who made this. I hate people because of the internal good feeling I get. Okay, that's weird. New room, yay! Cheer the chimes, they keep you going, don't they? Alright, we'll read a couple more, then we'll go a little faster. I think the only problem I have with these notes is if you're trying to convince someone that this is online and that like real people made this, you need more spelling errors. You need more crowding. Like I feel like a lot of people would make notes that are like right next to each other, or like they'd jump off the side and like in the middle of the air they'd make a note, or they'd like, I don't know. There'd be a couple of notes that just say like nothing at all, just like a period. Alright, we'll just keep going. Lots of notes. Lots of notes. Next time I'll do better. This is a note? Yes! It's, I know, confusing. Don't listen to the other notes, okay? So that implies that I should listen to your note. Whispering. There's whispering. So now we're looking at an artwork. Painting, what does it mean? Whoever made this has issues. Okay. Art. It's a bunch of dots. I like it. It reminds me of Dippin' Dots. Dippin' Dots. Maybe the further back you are, it looks different. I don't know. It's all about how this game is pretentious and you all suck. Okay. Alright, we've been in this one game for a long time. I guess we'll just move on. He beat the game! Woohoo! Lava.
At the end of this level, we're going to see the puzzle again. And here, I'll tell you what I think the puzzle means.
Yay.
Each of these games represents an idea that was on Coda's mind at the time that he was making it. And the puzzle is a way of closing the door on a previous chapter of his life before moving on to the next one. In each of his games, after exploring a theme that, he might find difficult, Coda can then place this puzzle that he knows has a reliable solution, he understands exactly how it works, and so it gives him a simple mechanism for moving on.
Maybe the idea is more of like Coda has issues in his life, and so I'm just repeating what he said basically. Like he has issues in his life, and he's making games to deal with it, but he stops making games because he gets over his issues. I don't know.
And because there's this dark area between the doors, a space between spaces, before you move on, you get to pause. Just for a moment, a few seconds to reflect on and let go of the events that led you here. To step back and connect the pieces together. To grasp at that elusive bigger picture.
But the game's not over. There's one more note. The music sounds weird. What if there's a way for me to leave a note if I press a certain button or something? Oh, typewriters that are not actually typing anything. Hello, I'm talking. Yeah, that's me. Speaking. Okay,
this one is tough. It's gonna kind of just spin its own wheels for a few minutes. Hang with it.
That's a weird title to have. Okay. There's a well. Maybe that's where I came from. I came from a well, or that's where I need to go. Circles, like the painting. Cool. This reminds me of like a fancy person house. Like it's all white and black, very boring. So I find it weird that the guy said that the controls are only WASD and mouse, but you can jump and you can strafe by pressing control. It's weird that he didn't mention that. Oh.
See, this is it.
Okay.
The whole game. And there's nothing that's particularly interesting about it. You just walk to the end of a hallway.
I like it.
Except, for some reason, Coda gets really fixated on this prison that has all of this modern furniture. And I don't know why, but he decides he needs to revisit this prison. He's gonna start over, use the same assets, turn it into something else. Okay, cool. Here's version 2.
I'm gonna pause for a second. I like that concept of a game. Like, you see something in the distance that you don't realize is a cage. It just looks cool. You're thinking about it. You go down and you do something, and then you realize there you are. You're in that prison you saw at the beginning. That was a cool concept. Let's see where he goes with it. What furniture ought to go in the center of the room? Put a giant hole in the ground. Refrigerator. I think a hole sounds cool. Okay, he did not listen to me. What about along the wall of the room? 10 stone just labbed up against the wall. I think a washing machine would be useful here. I'll do washing machine. Okay. Did not listen to me again. Tesla coils. That sounds fun. Tesla coils. Let's go. It'd be like. No. Maybe this is about how I think this is about how when you want to purchase things for a house, you have all these grand ideas, but you can't afford stuff, so you just buy basic stuff. But yeah, none of my choices make any difference, so I'm just gonna say that. Oh boy.
There's a bit more to this one, but still, it's not really communicating anything. It's kind of just weird for weirdness' sake.
I think that there's a beauty in that, though. I don't know why he doesn't like that. I think games like this
he throws
are
it
fun.
out and starts over. This time he comes at the prison idea from a different direction.
Okay. Hello, please walk forward. This guide will enable you to escape any prison environment. Follow the instructions carefully. Take care that you remember each step. First, click on this table. Alright. There's the dots again. Maybe that'll come to fruition at some point. Good. Go over to the photo frame and click it to turn it slightly. Now turn the floor lamp in this room off and then turn it back on. Okay. Now go to the left side sofa, move it over a little. Finally touch the shelves. Shelves. That's it. In a real prison, the escape will not open. Return to the start to be taken back to your prison. So now I get to try it out for real. See if I can like memorize what I need to do.
And of course, now the table is gone and you can't begin the chain of events to
Aw,
escape.
man. That sucks.
Here's a version where there are no bars, but you can't actually get to the well. And then a version where the inside of the prison is the outside and the outside is the inside. Let me just blink you real quick through a few more of these. I mean, he really unloaded on this prison idea. There's nearly a dozen of them. Personally,
I like this.
I think it's awful to watch this, to see a person basically unraveling through their work. And for what? Like, at what point do you just go, maybe there are game ideas other than this prison that I could be working on?
I mean, you gotta
But
spend
Coda
time on
doesn't
stuff.
have that voice telling you to stop. That particular
This is
mechanism
cool. I
of
like this.
defense against yourself. Without it, you just spiral. And so he keeps going and going and going and going and going, and then he hits on something. And he likes it. And that's it. He's done. He stops making prisons.
Okay.
This is the very last version of the prison game that he created. And the reason I think it works is that the prison is not actually in it.
Okay. Alright. We're in over the hedge. We're gonna have to collect some snacks for a bear and then betray all of our friends. I wonder if the person who made Everhood thought about this game when they made it, because in Everhood you use lampposts to save your progress and there's lampposts everywhere. Oh, I can't move. Hello, who is this? Hey, it's me. I'm from after you escaped the prison. You're me. You were trapped in the prison too.
It's a conversation. And so this is what Coda wants, is to be able to talk to someone, to share what's on his mind, and to get some good advice from someone who knows.
Okay,
But the irony is that even in this scenario, you're still talking to yourself.
that's true.
You know, all of these games so far are Coda talking to himself.
Mm-hmm. What's it like to escape? Feels like being completely still and wildly in motion at the same time. I'm scared I'll get out and then things will be exactly the same as before. It actually does change. I don't feel like I'm the same person at all. Oh no, that's awful. Wait, what? That's not what did I choose that? I might have pressed the wrong button. Problem is that you don't actually, yeah, I must have just pressed the wrong button on accident. Wait, if you're me, then how did you get a call from another version of you when you were trapped? So now we're having a meta conversation about our conversation right now. What did you have to do to get out? They just talked to me for a while. What? They freed you? How does that work? Listen, you can't know until you're out, but I promise it works. So It's like a cycle almost. I'll be here for as long as you need.
I can see why he considers this a fitting conclusion to the prison games. After all of the obsession and frustration, just to be told by someone you can trust that things are going to be okay. Wouldn't that be nice?
That would be pretty nice.
So what would it look like if Coda wanted to make a game about talking to someone other than himself?
Okay. It would have to be like online or some kind of multiplayer. Maybe like two people sitting down next to each other, or maybe an AI.
To me, this environment is meant to represent Coda's puzzle, with the two doors on either side and a dark transitional space between.
Okay. I think that's overreaching. I think you're thinking about it too hard, but sure. He's definitely getting better at making games. Like, it looks so much better. Oh my goodness, I'm glad as all heck that you showed up. Thought I might be having to clean this entire house all by myself. And right miserable that would have been. Everyone knows my lonesome hands make lonesome homes.
You'll notice that the quality of the art is a step up from previous games.
You got that right.
Including this new and improved chat system, which he started using from this point on. From here on out, he begins putting much more effort into the visual polish of his work. And this particular game took 2 months to create as a result.
Wow. Much nicer. That's the table I want to see. Now, would you please run into the bedroom and make the bed? I think the problem that I have when I try to make games is I try to make all the art first and then make. I'm gonna stop talking. Making games is hard. Straighten out the rug? Sure. How'd you end up doing this job? Friend dragged me along for a time when I was particularly desperate for cash. Turns out I've never felt so good doing something for money in my whole life. Never did like cleaning my own home. Might have gotten some demons I ain't ready to face yet. Oh, speaking of demons, someone's put the couch all in a mess. Would you come out and straighten the pillows here? There we go. Oh dear, it looks like someone spilled a drink over by the couch. Maybe mop up as long as you're over there. This looks like... I feel compared to Shell an incredibly cheesy personal insight. You okay with that? Do you absolutely have to? Yes. Okay. No, I don't. It was stupid. Never mind. Hey, these dishes need to be washed. Why don't you come and do that? Instantly, it's done. The tub needs cleaning. What are you, the Cat in the Hat? There's still books scattered all over the floor. So if this guy's a cleaner, why is he making me do all of it? Now then, how about you come and clear these dishes off? But I
After
just
the
did
intense
that.
set of prison games, this house cleaning level almost feels like cleansing. It's the moment after a particularly difficult or traumatic experience where you just need to let it sit and digest inside of you, and eventually cohere into something meaningful. I know that Coda really liked this game. Of all of his work, actually, this was the only one that he called me up to ask me to come over and look at it.
Interesting.
This was during a period of a few months where he was, like, grossly happy all the time. Just walked around with a constant smile on his face.
That's cool. I'm glad he was happy. Unless he was like being... Okay, so I don't exist. There's no reflection. Cool. You take care of it and it takes care of you. Yeah, you're right. It's pretty cheesy. I think this game is pretty cheesy. Not a big fan of... I meant the game I'm playing The beginner's guide. That's not cheesy. This game is kind of cheesy. Inside the game. There's a little gremlin inside of his house messing it up.
I'm glad he made this. I'm glad he found some peace. But, of course, it can't last.
Uh-oh.
The music stops, your companion is gone, it's time to leave.
Is the windows?
The door at the top of the hill is now open as well.
The windows are
Again,
just all gone.
you can't stay in the dark space for too long. You just can't. You have to keep moving. It's how you stay alive.
Okay. Think you are reaching a little bit. I think he might be overanalyzing it a little bit. Maybe not. Maybe not. He knows his friend more than I do. I'm just a casual observer. And here's the lamppost.
Which is the whole point of the puzzle doors, right? That sooner or later you have to pick up and move. I really thought that was the point of it.
Thoughts. Items you love at members only prices. We're in a college dorm place. Was it to make your relationships more meaningful? No. You came here to be perfect. This workshop's gonna teach you how to be perfect. I want your friends, the people in your life, to look at you and think, wow, this person is a better human being than I am. Right now, who do you think about that way in your own life? Who do you know who is so well developed as a person that they make you feel disgusted with yourself? Compared to whom do you feel useless, selfish, ungrateful? I intend to make you into that person. Perfection is within your grasp. And the question is not how we do it, but how we do it effortlessly. This is easy. It is so easy. It is so easy.
About halfway through the game,
Being
the
perfect
perspective
is effortless.
shifts.
Oh no! That's like the...
And you play as the teacher. And suddenly, you discover that your teacher is just as bigoted and afraid as you are. Oh, and also you can move around the classroom now.
Okay, and cool. It looks like Galeem or something, I don't remember their name, in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I'm just gonna tell him happy answers. Happy answers only. Happy answers only. Ha ha ha, just kidding. That sounds happy, maybe. Do what is easiest. Do what is simplest. Feel what is true. Alright, now we gotta run. Time to run. There's a giant space void
I felt
in the
pretty
background.
hard for this one. I feel like it's one of the most relatable experiences that you can have. To assume that some other person is perfect and totally fulfilled in every way, and completely
My
miss
church
all of
has
the little
a design
flaws that make
similar
them
to
tangibly
this.
human.
Up, down, up, down, up, down.
I think about this game a lot these days.
I think you could also tell the message of that game without making a game out of it.
This one took a lot longer than all the others for Coda to make. It was 4 months between this and the last one.
Wow.
That's twice as long as it took him to make any other game before this, and it's not like it's particularly complex, so I remember I found that a little strange at the time.
I think it might be that he's not working on it all the time, you know? He's got a life to do other things, maybe? Can I go up here? No? Okay. A stage. Am I gonna give a performance? What do you mean? This game is he says it's not that complex. It looks pretty complex. The performance is beginning. Places, please. In this scene, you'll be playing as me. We're at a gathering of professionals. First, you'll start off leaning against this wall. It's like the SpongeBob meme with Squidward on the other side and a bomb. Good, stay right there. The woman across the room in this chair is a professional photographer of animals. It's your dream to photograph animals professionally. This is your one chance to learn something from her, to gain something to succeed. Go on, say something to her. Hello. Hello? That's it? That's not a conversation. Well, compared to my other options. You need to actually converse with her. Be a human being. Do it again. Here are all of my hopes and dreams. No, no, no. That's not what I said to her at all. You're completely missing the tone of the conversation. I was reserved, but I knew what I wanted. I was confident. For some reason, it was just that one moment, but I was confident. Maybe it's that you need to better feel of the setting. There were a lot of people around us. I'll give you some props to work with. These cones that bounce when you touch them will represent people nearby. Now talk to her again. Well, I want to touch it. Oh, I see. It bounces you when you touch it. You must have worked really hard to get where you are. You're messing it up all again. You'll freak her out if the conversation gets that personal that quickly. Do you not realize how important this was for me? I'll never get another opportunity like this ever again. Everything was riding on this. Makes music when you hit it. Try stepping back from the stage. Okay. The lamppost, it's there again. Is this the end of the game? Oh, okay. Guess we're not going over there. Oh yes, now this is where
the game ends with this eerie premonition of what's going to happen next in Coda's life. The solution to social anxiety, to fears of having to perform and having to chase success, the answer for Coda is to withdraw, to hide himself away. Which is what leads to scenarios like the stairs that slowed you down several games ago, where it just becomes harder and harder to access Coda's inner landscape because he keeps retreating.
Is he going to jail?
He just keeps backing away from possible connections to anyone other than himself. And to be honest, I didn't consider it very healthy when I first played this game. You know, it looked to me like he was trying to justify the idea of just disconnecting yourself from the world. And that wasn't what I wanted for him or for his games.
Hello Neighbor.
Because I feel like a lot of his games are inviting me to connect with this person, to bring him closer.
Okay.
But what can you do?
What you gonna do?
After this, Coda went off and took another 5 months to make a new game.
Okay. Mobius tripped. To play this game properly, you must keep your eyes closed. Click to be okay. I'll close my eyes. You'll be able to see it, but I'll close my eyes. Okay, I'm not looking. I'm just gonna look to see where WASD. Okay. I'm not looking. Do I need to move? I hear noise like it's some kind of night game or like some kind of old school game. I don't know what's going on. The narrator isn't telling me anything. Oh, I'm dead. I think. Sounded like I died. I'll just move forward, see what happens.
You should probably open your eyes if you haven't already.
Oh.
It's pretty much impossible to solve otherwise.
Oh, okay.
And there is a solution, by the way.
Help, I'm blind. How do I solve it? Do I just need to cycle through solutions until I... I'll just go through solutions. What's going on? Oh, okay. I got up here. Let me just stop it as speaking something honest. I can't keep making these. Yes, that's it. That's the truth. I figured that would be the truth that he would need to hear, right?
Like I said, I was getting concerned. First off, he's never been this explicit in his work about exactly what he's thinking. So where's that coming from? But then even weirder, his work has potentially stopped being an outlet for him. Not like he's having trouble iterating on ideas, but he literally just can't think of new ideas anymore. And in person, he was being a lot more distant than usual.
It's not that, I think that he has a problem and he's trying to express the problem in a game. He's just having a hard time figuring out the best way to express it.
Like, you know how sometimes...
He's not trying to express that he has a problem. He's trying to express what the problem is. No, I don't know how to explain it.
Sometimes a person will just deflect anything that you say in order to keep themselves disconnected all the time. It was that kind of thing. Here was the point in my relationship with Coda where I really started to wonder if he needed my help in some way.
Uh-oh. What happened?
His games are going to get more desperate from here on out.
Okay.
After this game, it's almost 6 months before he finishes something new.
Okay. Well, you said that it goes until 2011, so he's only going to have a couple more games, right? Where am I? Oh, I like this. Hello, is anyone there? Cool, cool, cool. Is that a person? How lovely! It's been a long time since I talked to anyone. What's wrong? You look lost. I have nothing left to give to my work. Oh no. What's happened? Did something change? There was a machine that kept me going and it stopped. Uh-oh. Oh, I need to move, don't I? Okay. Wait, you're looking for a machine? I think I know where it is. It isn't far. You have to take me to it. Show me the machine. I can do that, but there is a problem.
If the last game featured
Guarded by
Coda
a
talking
difficult puzzle.
explicitly about his creative
Help me
frustrations,
solve the puzzle.
this
We'll find the
one
machine.
turns it up to 11. Now, put yourself in my shoes playing this. Here's a friend whose work is exhibiting signs of struggle,
press
frustration, anxiety, depression, even.
You should probably help him.
And yet, still, he keeps making games. He keeps throwing himself into the grinder even when he clearly doesn't have the energy for it.
You obviously need to be helping him.
Why? What is it for?
Why are you not helping him?
Because from my perspective at the time and just what I knew of him, this was a result of how isolated he was. He was in his own little bubble, just sitting at his computer all day, not really showing these games to anyone, not releasing them onto the internet, and so he didn't have anyone outside of himself to connect with. He had no outlet to ground himself on.
Now I have to close the first door. And then I'm gonna just press the switch here. Sweet. And now we get to the machine, right?
You can't talk yourself out of loneliness. It doesn't work that way. You can't be the one writing both the questions and the answers. Then there's no movement. Then there's no circulation. If all of your anxieties are being channeled into your work, then if the work ever fails, you have no backup and you're just going to crash.
Alright, making games is easy. Uh-oh. Ah, that feels wonderful. Why did the walls crumble? Don't worry about it, just keep talking. Keep saying that creation is easy. It's easy, it never stops being easy. Yes, that's wonderful. Keep going.
Seeing this game at the time that he made it, it looked really unhealthy to me. I was watching him do this
Just
to
such a
himself.
simple
and I hated it.
solution.
I hated seeing him so trapped. It's like video games are not worth this amount of suffering.
Where's the machine? Where's
This
the
is someone I
machine?
really cared about. And I
hard.
used to get so much joy out of seeing him create. For him to suddenly become angry and frustrated like this, it was the worst thing for me. I don't know. This is what I felt at the time. I don't know how else to explain it. I wanted it to stop more than anything. It never felt so rotten. I needed more than I had ever needed anything for this to stop.
Maybe...
But it didn't stop.
Uh-oh.
After finishing this one, Coda takes another 7 months and comes up with a new game.
Wow. The machine. Alright. The machine. There's a guard. There's a guard to the machine. Ma'am, glad to see you've arrived safely. We've captured the machine. It's waiting for you now. You can begin the interrogation whenever you'd like. I need to be quiet. Gotta do this. Can't do this willy-nilly. Gotta do it with some class. Very good. Just be warned that someone called the press. We might have a bit of attention on this one. Also, one more thing that you should know about the machine. It calls itself Coda. Pretty on the nose. Pretty on the nose. What will you do with it? How will you capture the machine? Will it be punished? What is the machine? Will it explain yourself? Have you got a minute? What are your next actions? It's interesting how Coda has kept the theme of these boxes with stuff on them throughout this entire time. Alright. I don't know what we're gonna do. We're gonna be quiet. Bendy's ink machine.
And of course, it's the machine.
You stopped. Your work was keeping us healthy, I guess. Or, I guess alive would be better. It was only because of your creations that any of us could make it through every day. I've been so alone. Apologize for leaving me. It's a very one-sided conversation. There's not like very many options. They're all pretty negative. I have seen the thing you fear. Alright then, I'll apologize to the people on your behalf. Okay, I guess we're going to the press. Hello. My fellow Americans. My followers. It falls upon me to deliver bad news. The machine will not apologize to us. No apologies. But we will find a way to live without it. We do not need its games. Let us show it that we are not failures. That we can work. Follow me. We will destroy the machine. Looks like the machine is gone. Follow me. We must destroy the machine. Oh, it's gone. Okay. Uh-oh. Ah, I like this. This is cool. Destroy. Destroy it all. Tear it down. Rip it apart. Leave nothing left.
So now the work is becoming self-destructive. And I'll tell you, at the time that I first played this game, shortly after he made it, here's what I'm thinking to myself. I'm thinking that Code is stuck in his own head, and that it's having a very negative effect on him, and that all he needs to do is just start showing his work to people. to get some actual feedback on his game.
I think he needs to go to
It
therapy.
might get him out of isolation.
Yeah, I think he needs to go to therapy, bro. Oh.
And so, as I'm thinking this, I realized that I could be the one to initiate it. Because it would never occur to Coda to start actively soliciting feedback.
Uh-oh.
So, what if I did it for him?
Did you just share his game
If
with
he
someone?
could see the difference it would make to have more actual conversations with other human beings, would that bring him out of his mental spiral? Would it give him confidence in himself? Would it
Sounds
bring
like-
meaning back into his work?
No, that sounds like the opposite thing to do. That sounds like that would not end well. Oh. Uh-oh.
So I started showing Coda's work to people. I took this one, and the islands which you just played, the theater, the notes, the house cleaning game, and some of the prison escape games.
Oh wait,
I
am
brought them
I
to
the
people
person?
that I knew and trusted.
Am
I
I the
asked their
person playing
opinions.
the game that's not
And the
supposed
great
to?
part is that they really loved his games. You know, the point of it all was just to give him some external reference point, but they genuinely loved his work. There was nothing for him to be afraid of.
I'm afraid there won't be a happy ending to this story. It seems pretty like it's building up to something. Put down your weapon. Q? Q is usually in video games. Oh. No. Q? No, no Q. It won't let me put it down. I guess I have to shoot.
Can you see why I felt like this was the right thing to do?
No.
Because it's the thing that I always feel like I need, to be told that my work is good.
I mean,
that I am good.
for a normal person,
When
yeah,
someone
but if
really
someone's
connects with
in
a thing
trouble,
that
you
I've
should
made, when
probably
they
just
see themselves
get 'em
purely
out.
in my work, there's nothing that feels better. And I got to give that very same feeling to my friend. I did something. I really felt like I'd done something good. Like I was a good person. I felt like there was a friend who was in trouble and was unhappy and maybe didn't like themselves, and I could fix it. If I could give him this gift, maybe I could fix the problem. When they told me how much they enjoyed his games, it was the best feeling. It was the absolute best feeling. It made me feel so happy. So beautifully, beautifully happy.
But it's building. All of this is so great. And then...
So anyway,
Uh-oh.
Coda finishes this game, and then really he just kind of takes off for a while. So this is June of 2011, and I didn't hear anything from him for several weeks, I guess. And so out of nowhere, one day I get an email, and it's got a private link to a new game of Coda's. This one is called The Tower, and to my knowledge, it's the last game that Coda ever made. So let's take a look.
Yeah, show me what you got. The Tower. I like the aesthetic. Music, kinda creepy, Go left or right, I'll have to choose left.
And
Oh,
this is
didn't
where I
matter.
have trouble saying anything meaningful about Coda's work. Because more than anything else, the tower just feels distant. It feels like it's trying to distance itself from the world. It's a very cold game.
I feel like it's gonna shut down right when I try to get in front of it, or maybe it'll shut behind me. No? Okay.
This room actually has a maze in it.
Oh. Whoa, what happened?
Except that all the walls of the maze are invisible. And then every time you touch one of the walls, there's this awful flashing and noise. So the experience is really miserable. The game goes beyond not being meant to be played. It actually seems to despise the player for trying to play it at all.
Nope.
But I do
Okay.
want to show you the rest of the levels, so when you're ready to continue, press enter and I'll put a bridge over the maze.
Hold on. No. I'm gonna see if I can figure it out. So... I wish I had like a reference point, like I knew what some of the maze looked like. Can I like back up? Like, let me see. Hold on. If I step into it and then back up really quickly. No, I think it's just instant. You just instantly die. Anything? Nope. No. I don't even know where to begin. Maybe right, and then... Yeah, this is an invisible maze I am trying to solve. That if I touch the walls of it, I instantly die. I think this one, I'm gonna have to just do the bridge. I wish you would show me what the maze looked like. Just so I can see like how thick, like how thin the walls are, like how difficult it is. Just give me some form of reference, but... That would take some serious skill.
And to be fair, it's not like this is the first game that's needed some modification to be playable. Like the house cleaning game. You know, that one used to actually loop the cleaning chores and you just cleaned a house forever. I had to cut it off so that you could exit the house and the game would actually end. But that game had an idea that it was actually trying to communicate. What's the deeper idea behind the invisible maze?
It's impossible. It's almost impossible, maybe? Or that, maybe by showing people his games, he made a problem that should be, I don't know. I don't know.
The only way past this challenge is to randomly guess the 6-digit code. Like the invisible maze, it's frustrating to me, because it's the opposite of everything else that Coda has made. It doesn't encourage thought or engagement. It doesn't ask anything of me, except a lot of my time.
6.
If I could have reached him during this time, then maybe I could have
7.
asked him, but I couldn't. I still don't really understand
2,
why this is here.
1, 3? Maybe?
I'll put the code on the ground for you here, though, so that we can move on.
No! Why can't I? Is it just... Will it not let me click it until I get the right... Alright, what's the code? 151617. Alright. That's actually decently possible to guess. Like, it's not completely random. It's like 111 and then 567. So I think it's not impossible. He probably looked at like the source code or the files to see what the answer was. Hey, I actually had that part right. Cool. I think you can actually fall off up here. No, you can't. Never mind. All right. All right. Now we're in a room.
The switch to open this door is actually on the other side of the door, meaning that it's literally impossible to solve from this side. So even if you somehow brute forced your way through the first 2 challenges and you got to this point, there's actually just no way to progress.
Okay.
And it's scary for me, the idea of Coda cutting himself off entirely, just saying, you know, that's it, that's the end of the conversation, not giving me any way to fix the problem. I feel like a failure, I guess, when I can't fix the problem. But I can open this door for you, so let me do that.
So when he was playing this game for the first time, when Coda gave it to him and he's playing it for the first time, I wonder if he like just went in, like he got into a problem like the invisible maze or the stuff, and he like looked and he like altered the files then, or if he just gave up on it. I don't know. That'd be interesting to know, because like right now he's obviously altering the original work of the game so that it's possible. I wonder if he did that back then so we could see what comes next.
Was I a failure for not understanding this game? I mean, I don't know why I would be. It's not like everything needs to have a solution, but I feel it somehow. I feel like I failed, and I don't understand why. I remember, it's June of 2011. I'm playing this for the very first time.
Okay.
And as I'm playing, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know this person. I have no idea who this person is. It wasn't the guy I knew, it wasn't my friend. I had come to so many conclusions from looking at all of his work up to this point, and then suddenly none of them... I had been trying to, though. That was the thing. For years I was trying to get to know him, to understand who he actually was and what he stood for. I asked him so many times to please just tell me what his games mean to him. I asked him please to tell me what the 3 dots mean.
Yeah, the dots.
And he wouldn't.
I remember seeing the dots before. This is like inside of a Star Wars ship in Star Wars Battlefront 2. That's what it reminds me of, like the geometric tilting inward and the red light.
I just felt so strongly that if I could have connected with him, that if I could have somehow made his work my own, that I would finally be once and for all happy.
Finally, you would be happy.
That I needed to see myself in someone else.
Maybe he should be happy.
To be someone other than me. But he stopped and left. And it felt somehow like I had failed.
Have you been making any games this whole time? Wonder if he has. So this guy's, they met.
Where did I screw up?
Oh. Well, that's not good.
I'm the reason that you stopped making games, aren't I? It's because of what I did. I poisoned it for you.
Dear Davey, thank you for your interest in my games. I need to ask you not to speak to me anymore. That's rough. That's hard. That's hard. That's hard to hear. He's got some really cool lighting effect, though. I mean, this is his final game. He has definitely gotten better. The shadows could be, you know, a little crisper. The shadows could be a little crisper. But the reflections, it's pretty good. Got some lighting. It's pretty cool. Alright, so Davey's not allowed to speak to him anymore, which is not a cool thing to hear.
I don't think I ever told you this, but when I took your work and I was showing it to people, it actually felt... it felt as though I were responsible for something important and valuable.
I wonder at times whether you think I am making these games for you. You've so infected my personal space, it's possible I did...
the people who played them, they treated me like I was important. They really listened and cared about what I had to say. Even though I was showing your work, it was... I felt good about myself. Finally. For a moment, while I had that, I liked myself.
You've so infected my personal space, it's possible I did begin to plant solutions in my work somewhere hidden between games. If there was an answer or meaning, would it make you any happier? I think the problem, like I said way back, is so Davey sees the narrator that we're hearing, person that's the friend, he sees games as like entertainment and like the way most people see video games, and then the other person, Coda, sees games as like artwork and a way to express yourself, and maybe, I don't know, I guess we'll see. Would you stop taking my games and showing them to people against my wishes? Giving them something that is not yours to give, violating the one boundary that keeps me safe. Yeah, that was not cool, that he just thought that it seems like the whole idea of the games that he's made is like, hey, I'm seclusive, I don't want people to see my stuff, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, obviously the one thing I need to do is show people his games. Like, okay, good idea. Would you stop changing my games? Stop adding lampposts to them. Interesting. So he's been adding things to the games.
Then you stopped.
And
I didn't have anything left to show people. I just had to be with myself. And as soon as that happened, there was no feeling at all. Nothing. Less than nothing. What does that mean?
I guess in a way you could see that the game... So we're playing a game inside of a game, right? But the game, maybe that's like his version. So like if these games are what Coda was using to express his feelings, maybe this game to show Coda... I'm losing myself in the analogy, but maybe this is like Davey's way of explaining his feelings. When I'm around you, I feel physically ill. Well, that's not a good thing to good thing to hear. You desperately need something, and I cannot give it to you. I literally do not have it. Struggling to come up with new ideas is not making me depressed. Low points are just part of the process. The fact that you think I am frustrated or broken says more about you than about me. I realize that this doesn't make sense to you just yet. Which is fine, you're not my problem to solve. Wow. But I do hope that one day it clicks and that you make peace with this thing that you are wrestling.
I'm afraid that I did something really stupid because I don't like myself.
When you finally see what I am talking about, don't say anything.
That's why I'm releasing this collection of your work, is because I haven't been able to find any other way to reach you. I've tried everything. And so a part of me has hope that if I put this compilation out into the world, and if I put my name on it, that maybe enough people will play it so that it'll find its way to you, so that I can tell you that I'm sorry. I know I screwed up.
That doesn't seem like the right course of
I
action.
apologize to you,
This
truly
seems
and
like
deeply.
making it worse.
Will
I
you
don't
start
know.
making games again? Please. I need to feel okay with myself again. And I always felt okay as long as I had your work to see myself in. I mean, is something wrong with me?
See
Because
yourself
I
in
know
his
that I
work.
did an awful thing, and I'm doing it again right now. Like, I'm showing people your work, but I can't stop myself from doing it. That's how badly I need to feel something again, like I'm an addict. There has to be something wrong with me. Can I apologize? What if I tell you I was wrong? Will that work? Will that fix it? I don't know. I don't think it will, but there's nothing else that I can do. Just tell me what you want. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please, start making games again. Please help me. Please give me some of whatever it is that makes you complete. I want whatever that wholeness is that you just summoned out of nothing and you put into your work. You were complete in some way that I
the
never
walls are getting
was.
closer.
I want to know how to be a good person. I want to know how not to hate myself. Please. I'm fading, and all I want is to know that I'm going to be okay.
I was not expecting the walls to just be like, whew. I feel confused. Okay. I feel confused at the moment. Okay. So, he's putting lampposts at the end of his game. He's like, he sees himself. I don't have all the pieces.
More.
I don't have the pieces.
More love, more praise, more people telling me that I'm good. Always more. It's like a disease.
This is a cool area. It's like a London, a station. Can I get on platform 9 3/4? So he said that the last one we saw was the last game that Coda made. So this would have to be a game that he made himself, maybe? Sitting on the chair. Alright, no, we'll keep going. We'll see if there's a merger on the Rockport Limited.
Solution. Solution. Solution.
Oh, interesting. That's cool. Okay. Solutions.
I guess if someone had told me ahead of time that he just really enjoyed making prison games, maybe I wouldn't have thought he was so desperate. I wouldn't have told so many people that he was depressed. Maybe he just likes making prisons.
It's weird. It seems like they were friends, and yet they never talked. Like, how do you get to this point in a friendship that you don't understand? Like, I don't. Yeah, it's starting to seem like. I don't know what it's starting to seem like. I don't think I can put into words what's happening. I think it makes more sense to just listen to what the narrator's saying. So I'm going to stop talking for the moment. But yeah, it seems like the narrator seems like he's more of the one to blame currently.
Even now, the disease is telling me to stop. Don't show people what a shitty person you are. They'll hate you.
That's a no-no word. Seems like the room is filling up with sand. Maybe we're in Are we in the Hasaikai underground, or? That seems more like a sewer.
If I knew that my life depended on finding something to be driven by other than validation, what would that even be? It's strange, but the thought of not being driven by external validation is unthinkable. Like, I actually cannot conceive of what that would be like.
Maybe he needs to go to therapy. Maybe it's not the other one that needs to go to therapy. I like this door because it is blue. What if I go through this door? Okay, same. Alright.
What now?
I think you should make your own prison game. Maybe then you'll understand why he was making his own.
I think I need to go. And I'm sorry, because I know that I said that I would be here and I would walk you through this, but I'm starting to feel like I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot that I need to make up for.
Can't step on the shadows.
So I'm just gonna... Okay.
I'm the narrator now. He's no longer the narrator. It's only me. Alright, so... This is a room with sand portals, like nether portals, but they're made of sand. This reminds me of when Coda was making a prison for me, and then I got trapped in the prison, and now I'm sad. Wow. Wow. It's hard to like play. This feels like a walking simulator. Like I'm trying to make it interesting and funny, but it's hard because it's touching on some hard subjects, and I'm just walking, if that makes sense. But I do like the aesthetic of this. It's like I I was gonna be like, this is a cool sedimentary rock, or this is cool granite, and then I was like, I have no clue if that's actually true, so I'm just not gonna say it. And then I did say it. And now he made his own prison. It's like the Star Wars trash pit. So is it gonna stop once it reaches here? Is it possible that it... No, it stops. I was wondering what'll happen if it just kept going up and it like trapped me, but... And we're back near the beginning. Seems like the same place as the beginning, just without the items. There's like no items besides benches. This is gonna be a long walk. Oh, is that the... That's the light that makes you... It either kills you or it sends you to the... to like the sky. I bet there's gonna be like some message, like the buildings were laid out in like letters, or maybe it'll just kill me. Maybe it won't send me into the sky, but something tells me it will. Seems to be the same textures and everything. Yep, okay, it's sending me upwards. Ah! Oh, there we go. Whoa. I wanna... That is one big maze. When I was younger, I used to like make mazes, like on pieces of paper. I'd make my own mazes. Seeing this when I was younger would like melt my mind. It's still really cool though.
Turn back from this cave. You said, let me prove that I'm brave. Let me keep going. But the cave goes for miles and miles and miles.
So there's gonna be a second singer, okay?
And you're so tired, but I know that you're strong. So turn back, turn back.
Turn back? Doesn't seem to be anything back there. So is that the whole game? I guess so. That's the whole game. I guess this would be a time to talk about it. So the narrator it's an unreliable narrator. So he's kind of an unreliable narrator at the beginning, and he's telling the story of how he perceived Coda It's like he's a game designer that he met, and he like, we learn later that he like latched onto him. And Coda's like making games about like being isolated and depressed, and it's not exactly that Coda is isolated and depressed, it's that the narrator, Davey, he's the one that's isolated and depressed, and he's like projecting, maybe not projecting, but he's like taking the feelings that Coda's game is giving out and like putting them on himself. And maybe he's like, what's the meaning? What is the meaning behind this game? Because he's like maybe trying to find the meaning in his own predicament, his own life, his own situation. And then Coda's like, I was just trying to make games, dude. Like, I don't know how to solve all your problems. You gotta do that yourself. And so he's like, please stop showing my games to people, blah, blah, blah. Or maybe I'm just looking at this all on a really surface level. Maybe it goes deeper, like, if Davey and Coda aren't even real people, if they're like, and we're just looking at the game as a whole, if we're just like looking at the story as a whole, it's like, I don't know. I don't think I'm smart enough to figure that one out. I think the last thing I'll try to figure out is, it's called The Beginner's Guide, when it really seems like the end. It says like this is the beginning of how you would do something, but it's really like the end of a friendship, and maybe the beginning of something else. But at least one thing is for certain. I was really scared that it was the ending was going to be like Coda took their own life or something. Like, you showed him all these games, and like he didn't want him to show them to other people. I was afraid Coda was going to get like hurt or something. At least that's not the case. And he said, I'm assuming this is all real, and that he said this happened in 2011. This is 2021, so it's been 10 years. Hopefully they've grown as people. But I don't know. It says that, I don't know. I don't know. Well, that was definitely an experience, and I'm glad you experienced it with me. I think it leaves stuff to like think on. Yeah. I don't think I have all the answers to what this game is really about, but I think it gives you something to think about, and that's pretty cool. Well, I'll see you guys next time.